Good morning, bedheads. Click. Coffee with Karen. This is Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well. Got the whole bedhead thing going on this morning. How are you guys? I'm a little late this morning just because we had a long session last night. It was awesome. It's like 2 hours. Then I was tired. I was tired. Once in a lifetime, you guys. This is a very exciting time, believe it or not. Click. Doesn't feel like it. Doesn't always feel like it, does it? So, I'm gonna basically, let's talk today. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to unpack about this idea that the intuitives, meaning you and me, and our whole community of all the people we've been watching over the last couple months, we're right. We are right. And we are going to hold the vision. And a video came across my feed this morning from Tamara Rose, and I will link hers below because after this, I would like you to go watch it. And I'm basically going to unpack what the video that came across my feed today. She's an energy expert and she's been doing it for like 15 years. And everything she said made so much sense to me. So I literally took like 5 pages of notes watching her video because one, I wanted to unpack it here, and two, I wanted to remember it myself. Okay. And I think the most important thing, it's just so very interesting because one of the things that I've been exploring and trying to understand myself is this whole timeline thing. Okay. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't get it. Like I'm totally the same way. Okay. So, I mean, it really is just about realities. It's basically just like, what reality are we seeing and what reality would we like to move to? So it's like, this is how I'm explaining it in just simple terms and how my head can grapple with it is just basically evolution. Okay. It's how we're evolving. Okay. And right now we're seeing a specific timeline that is very purposeful. Okay. So we are in this very specific timeline so that we can evolve. Okay. And that's how it's been all along. I mean, it just keeps moving like this. Okay. But because of the astrology, like you'll have to get into that on other channels and how like Pluto and all this stuff is combining now. And 2025 is the year of the 9. So it's the transformation, the ending. Okay. So that's why it's really quite exciting. And we have chosen to be here during this time, which is why I chose my once in a lifetime mug because we have not seen this on Earth before. Okay. And I haven't been able to use this mug yet, so it was kind of fun to be able to use it. Okay, so we haven't not seen this time before, and we as a community here, whoever wants to hang out here, and in the larger community of, we're all kind of sharing each other's channels and sharing ideas and understanding that we're doing this as a large group, not just individually. And it's not just my channel, or it's not just Rosie's Insights channel, or it's not just Jennifer Lisa Vest. And there's a whole many, many more that I have no idea about. And I'm trusting, just as I would encourage you to trust, that when they come across your channel, that is the time for you to hear the message. Okay. Just like when you pick up a book and all of a sudden that book resonates with you. It's like, oh, okay. And I've talked about this before. I have books on my bookshelf that I have read a long time ago. And some of them I was like, I don't get it. Like I remember reading the Celestine Prophecy a long time ago. And it was so popular. I mean, it sold so many. And then it ended up like there was just a gazillion copies at the thrift shops for a while. I haven't seen any for a while though. And I feel like I just didn't get it then, but I feel like if I read it now, I would get it differently. So it's the same thing. Okay. So we're all just kind of learning and exploring our intuition, because what Tamara Rose was talking about, again, I'll link it in the description below. this particular video. So you can check it out and see, let me know, like, how did it resonate with you? And again, I'm going to unpack it here, but I want you to give her the attention because all of these ideas came from her specifically. So, which is actually kind of fun. I just became the 2000th and I noticed it. I was her 2000th subscriber. Exactly. Because when I went in to subscribe, she had 1.99. And then when I came out, the video said 2000. So I was like, yes. So anyways, I think she's on TikTok and stuff. I think maybe she's just moving over to YouTube. Okay. So anyways, so let's unpack what she is saying. And I'm going to process this out loud, basically, because then it will help me learn the more I process out loud. And then you can process what you're learning in the comments, and then we can learn from each other. Okay. So basically, what she is saying is that there are a lot of us whose psychic abilities. So we all have psychic abilities. Okay. All of us. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. So of course we have psychic abilities. Everybody is tapping into them at different times. Okay. And what was happening is that my dowsing rods, my spirit guides saying Kamala Harris won the election. She will be, she's going to be inaugurated. Trump is not going to be, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That is us looking ahead at the timeline that is coming. Okay. That is actually accurate information. Okay. Even though we're not specifically seeing it in this exact timeline right now, we're not seeing it, but it's still accurate. It's still accurate. Okay. And what's happening energy wise is that the collective, there's enough people starting to wake up right now that we can make this change, but we have to stop doubting ourselves because, that's what happened every time the election happened. When the election results came in, we all doubted ourselves. When the confirmation happened, we all doubted ourselves. When the inauguration happened, we all doubted ourselves. And that's exactly what Dana said when we talked about Dana from the Magic Somatic Money, that the other day her spirit guides opened up the veil so she could see what everybody's looking like, what all the energy is looking like. And it was like doubt, faith, doubt, faith. And it's exactly like, I'm just getting all these same messages all together now. And even like watching Rosie's insights the last couple days, I watched her, we all did, her and Karina go through some doubts, right? And then, but it's really about them getting their energy back and trusting themselves. And you could see last night in their video, they started coming back. Okay. And the good news for me is I didn't go through the doubts this last time. I definitely did. I didn't feel like putting the SGs on a timeout because I was just like, what I am gun shy about is doing timeline stuff, like doing timing, because of this timeline stuff is shifting. So it's not actually helpful for us to like try to pin down dates. Okay. I just don't think it is. I don't think it's helpful because then what it does is it keeps creating doubt in us. And the more doubt that happens, the more we step back 2 steps. You know how it's the 1 step forward, 2 steps back? Well, we don't need to go 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We can keep going 2 steps forward, 2 steps forward, 2 steps forward. But every time there's doubt and every time you leave a message on somebody's, or you unsubscribe. And if you're unsubscribing because of self-help or self-care, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like every time and she mentions this, Tamara Rose, every time you leave a message for somebody that is like, oh, you're wrong, blah, 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 blah. Like somebody left a message for me last night that I just did that live to collect money and that I'm using your faith or whatever to collect money, and which is 1,000 times not true. Of course, we do like to get paid for what we're doing because this is how we're earning income. And so we're not putting our energy into other things, so we do talk about, how to do the gifts and stuff like that. And so that was obviously irritating to that person. But they then, what happens is that they miss the whole point of the message that happened last night with the SGs, and then they created doubt, right? So they created doubt in themselves, which took 2 steps back for them. So they collectively then did not contribute to the energy of the collective. Every time you leave a message because you have doubt about something, that's energy. You just attached energy, and that's science, that's quantum science. She explains this. The atom, so there's an atom, that the atom is an atom. The only thing that moves the atom is the energy that you apply to it. Okay, your thought process that you apply to an atom is what moves it. Okay, so every time you have a thought, every time you leave a comment, and then your comment resonates with other people, and think of that energy you just sent out there. That's why every time, like I'm thinking about myself, every time I've left a negative comment for somebody or said something mean or something, and that resonated with them and it moved the energy, I'm not feeling good about that. I'm glad to be much more aware of this now. But it triggers the energy in the opposite direction that we want to go. It's not holding the vision, right? And so every time people are saying, hold the light, hold the light, hold the light, I get it now. I get it. I totally get it. It's like, that's what they mean is, you don't want to move the atom. Okay, let's just say we have 2 atoms, right? We have the atom of the future we want. I'm going this way. The atom of the future we want and the atom of the future we don't want. Every time we're positive and not attaching to the negativity, we're moving in this direction. Every time we have doubts, every time we criticize people, every time we tell people they're stupid because of their intuition, or they should do things a certain way because you don't like the way they're doing it, we're going we're going back like this. Okay, so the timeline that many of us are waking up to is the golden future, is the book that we are going to be starting to read in the spirit circle. Okay, and the golden future, the 5th dimensional timeline that we can choose to move to on Earth, is complete peace, complete love, complete acceptance of each other, complete intuition. 100%, if you think it, you don't even need to store things anymore, because the minute you need something, it becomes your reality. We are moving in that direction and we can get there. But every time we doubt, every time we get caught up in the not trusting our intuition, then we move backwards. It's just what's happening. And that's why people are saying, hold the vision. So hold the vision of Madam President, because she's basically a symbol at this point, right? She's a symbol of peace. She's a symbol of acceptance. She's a symbol of equality. She's just a symbol now. That's really what it is. It's, she, for many of us, has become that vision and that symbol, and that's good. That's really good. And, because she's demonstrating it, it's amazing. Okay, so let me look at my notes here. I didn't realize I was going to be able to talk like that off the cuff. I think I really got it. Okay. So basically, yeah, so she just said, you got to hold the vision. Your vision will create the timeline. Okay. So our vision. So we're going to continue on this channel to, there's very likely that the conversations we have will continue to move us forward in that timeline, going this way, in that timeline. Are we going to take a few steps back every once in a while? Absolutely, because we're going to have to process stuff that comes up in the current timeline. Okay. But I will do my best as a facilitator, one, to recognize how people are feeling in the current timeline, because I don't think we can heal if we don't do that. Okay. So it's like recognizing it, but then how do we unattach that energy to it, which will be energy clearings and all that kind of stuff. And then continuing to steps forward this way, continuing in the vision this way. Okay. So, So she said, your doubts, every time we doubt, will create a different timeline. Okay. So let's just use this on a personal level. So last night we talked a little bit about depression. There were some people who said that they've suffered with depression. I have had some bouts of depression in my life. And, or there's people who question, how much pain they've gone through in this lifetime, how much grief they've had to deal with in terms of soul contracts. Okay. So, every time, let's just say for depression, every time you might doubt that it would get better, that's not holding the vision, right? And it's so hard when you're in the reality of it. This is no different than law of attraction. This is exactly what it is. Okay. But now I'm starting to understand it on a deeper cellular level for me. I'm starting to understand it even in a way that I can explain it in a way that is more basic and more understanding. Okay. So I'll just use the depression, or I'll use my hot flashes for instance. So I had, hot flashes like every 2 hours for like 5 years. It was awful. And, the more, and every time I got frustrated and didn't believe, I just kept hanging on to that energy jumps. And it's not a blame yourself. This is not a blaming yourself thing. Okay. That's what people get a little hung up on the soul contract thing. It's like, well, they're blaming themselves. Like, I really chose to go through these things, and it's not a blame yourself thing. It's more of, how can I work with the energy around me? And it's what we've been taught to do. So it's not, you can't blame yourself, because if you're going to blame yourself, you're going to move backwards. Okay. So it's just about shifting the energy, shifting the belief that you have that you actually can change your energy, that we are all energy. We are like, what, 90% of us is like empty space, or 90, I don't know how they explain that, but that you can shift the energy around you. Okay. And it's no different than personal things that you're experiencing versus what we can do collectively. Okay. So I'm not sure I'm explaining that very well. Because I'm still exploring this myself. So this first, I think I got it more for the collective in terms of holding the vision than I got it for individually. But we'll come back to that, because I don't know if that resonated with anybody, but because it's really hard when I'm experiencing the hot flashes. Okay. Like, I'm having it. I'm having the hot flash, or I'm feeling depressed. Okay. It's like, how do you have the vision of not being depressed? Or how do you have the vision of feeling good energy when your energy is so low? Okay. And that's where the self-care comes in. That's where you just have to, like, I had to get myself out of the space of, 1, trusting biological time, 2, acceptance, 3, not focusing, like, you just have to, you have to go through these steps of how do you work on the self-care part of it in order for you to shift the energy. It's about shifting that energy. And the more I got sucked into the irritation of having the hot flashes, the longer those stuck around, And so, and then if I were to blame myself for it, it's going to stick around even longer. So no blaming. Okay. This is a societal thing too, because when I did my human design, the psychic who did my human design, a record for me, my birth chart, she said that, most of the thoughts I have are coming from the collective. So they're not mine. So that's where your intuition, that's where you have to center yourself to understand what thoughts are yours and what thoughts are the collectives. Then it's no different that the energy, what of the energy is yours and what of the energy is the collectives. Okay. So that there's no difference then. All right. So if she said that my aura's 6 feet around. Now, for generators, I guess 66% of the population are considered generators in their human design, their birth charts. Okay. That's a whole nother topic, but just go with me here. That our aura's 6 feet around. Okay. And anytime we have picked up energy from the collective or other spirits that are hanging out with us, that we have to adjust our energy fields. We are constantly, because that's how we are. We're just energy. You got animals around you, you got people around you. You've got energy coming off of all the appliances, everything. Everything is energy. The couch I'm sitting on is energy. Okay. And so that's why the self-care part is we have to constantly come back to center. Okay. Constantly come back to center so that we can hear ourselves. So we know what is our truth. Your truth is different than my truth. Okay. But you want to follow your truth. If you follow your truth, we're going to keep moving to the fifth dimension. Okay. Now, the thing is, in which really the fifth dimension is just peace on earth. It's just peace on earth. It's what we want, right? It's not, and because we'll learn how to use our energy, which we already have, there may be times where we can do things that everything we do is energetic. We can call upon it. Okay. So I think really the more we focus on how our energy is affecting our lives and affecting those around us, affecting the collective. All right. So if you can think about, here's an example for me for the collective, 2 months before the election, and I don't know how, admit it, did you do the same thing? I was watching all the shenanigans that Trump was doing. I was like, unbelievable. I'm not voting for him. I was railing against it. I was on those sites, you suck, I mean, not quite like that, but you know what I mean? Like, I was really into it, thinking I was doing my part. And, but I think all along, and I'm not blaming myself because now I understand it, but I think all along I was giving too much attention to that. Too much attention. I mean, all my attention was on what Trump was doing so that I could make sure that I railed against that so that I didn't support it. But in the same time, I was supporting it the whole time. So we were supporting it the whole time. Okay. So my vision wasn't on what I wanted here. It was on what I didn't want the whole time prior to the election. Well, no wonder he won. I mean, how many of us were doing that? And guess what? They knew what they were doing. They know what they're doing. That's why this whole thing, the salute, all the executive orders, it's all distraction. It's all distraction to keep us in that negative energy. That's exactly what it is. And so that's why it is people who understand, hold the light. I commend you. You got it. You understand it. You knew it way before me. I totally get it. Okay. Because that's exactly what they're doing. The whole salute thing, that was all on purpose. I guarantee that was all on purpose. And it's not even something we have to talk about because it's ridiculous. And it was to keep us irritated. It was to keep us irritated because, when we're irritated, our energy stays in irritation, which stays in 3D, which stays in confusion, and it stays in where they want it because then they get to do whatever they want. They're like master manipulators of energy is what they're doing. I don't think 45 is that smart. I think the people around him are, though. The people around him are. Everybody keeps saying 45 did this and 45 did that. He didn't do anything. If you go on that website, if you go on the White House website, don't do it. It's not worth it. But I did. And you look on it and it's very smartly written. It's smartly designed. He didn't do any of that. No, he didn't do anything. He is a total puppet and in the game. Okay. So that is where they want our energy. So that is why I'm actually feeling pretty good. Like last night, I was pretty insistent about people not talking about the 45 stuff. When I first started, I saw the questions and I thought, that's not where I want the energy to go. I want the energy to go where we want it to go. Okay. And we will do things on this channel to help us understand. So like I did the series of 45's soul chart or his soul contract, not about like, why is 45 doing this? And why is 45 doing that? We're not going to stay stuck in the what and the how. We're going to stay stuck in the why. We're going to stay in the why. Okay. And the why is the understanding so that we can stay centered in understanding why this is going on from a collective standpoint. Okay. So the one example that she gave, Tamara Rose gave which totally resonated with me in terms of the collective, she said, we're just not quite right. We're just not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet because you know what? We have savior energy. The collective has savior energy. Okay. The patriarchy, the masculine energy has been so unbalanced for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay. That was by design. That was astrology. It's just the way it is. Okay. It's the way God created it. All right. And now we're moving into the balance of feminine energy. Okay. So there's this big, like, like trying to figure it out type of thing. Okay. So it's really shifting. And the masculine energy, the patriarchy, the misogyny, it's all in us. We've all been trained that way. And I wouldn't say necessarily in a manipulative, I mean, partly in a manipulative way, but that's just how the astrological everything's been playing out. Okay. So if you think about how many times all of us have seen all the Disney, Cinderella, every single Disney, and I don't know about nowadays, but there's always a male savior, right? The prince came and saved. Okay. So you get it. I don't even need to explain all that. Okay. But we are trained. This is why I mentioned in a video once before that when I was a teenager, I remember saying to my mom, I'm just going to marry a millionaire. So I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to marry a millionaire. And that's exactly what Tamara Rose was talking about in terms of we have this savior energy. Well, guess who's acting like he's the savior? And that is collectively on us. We need to shift that. We need to start paying attention. We're all being empowered right now, aren't we? And there's a reason for that. Like I was feeling quite lazy. I want to retire. I want to 55. I just want to live a life and travel and, and I do. I still want to do that. But I'm feeling empowered now to help the collective, to be a part of the collective, to move us forward. Okay. And that's what I'm doing here. That's what, that's my work now. And your intuition is waking up now. You're grappling with, what do I do next? What's my thing? And everybody's is going to be different. That's why I keep talking about self-care is the most important thing right now. Self-care is the most important thing. Mental health, physical health, energetic health, all of that. Okay. Anything that gets you off of your center is designed, and especially if it's going this way, is designed to keep you from going that way. Okay. So somebody left a comment the other day that said, has anyone noticed how they said that they never watch negative stuff like, murder mysteries and all that kind of stuff, but all of a sudden her queue started getting filled with it? It's interesting. My immediate cackles went up, and I thought that's by design. That's by design to see one, maybe the universe is sending you that to see, are you going to take that path? Are you going to settle for that path? And it could be just very much the universe saying, are you going to settle for that path? Or are you going to go this way? And in a way, testing, in a way, allowing you to choose. Okay. I wouldn't say testing. I don't really like that, but it's more allowing us to choose which direction we're going to go in. Okay. Free will. You have free will. Which direction are you going to go in? Are we going to keep sticking with the same old energy, or are we going to move forward? Are we going to go this way? And so, it's interesting. Or people who understand energy, which might be the tech bros, may be very well doing that on purpose. I don't know. And I don't care. I'm not going to be all suspicious, and because that's not good energy to be in either. But pay attention, because that's really, really interesting. Okay. So I just really am digging this whole concept, and I'll be bringing these conversations more and more to the channel. And I'm not going to doubt myself anymore. I'm not going to doubt what the SGs say. I'm going to trust. And I want you to trust in your intuition. I want you to trust in any psychic ideas you're getting. And if you are feeling that something is right, move in that direction. If you're feeling something is wrong, Clear that energy. Clear that energy. Okay? So really looking inside yourself, this is what Tamara Rose said. She said for her, when she looks at the collective energy, that's what she's picking up. But that doesn't mean that's what you're picking up in terms of the savior energy. But I get that. Like that resonated with me so much, is the savior energy. Because I've been doing that my whole life. Like I wanted to skirt along. I didn't want to have to deal with stuff. Although I have, because I didn't have a choice. It's like the universe is like, nope, you're staying in the game. So the universe forced me to stay in the game. Okay. And it did. And it's forcing me to stay in the game right now because I ended up doing this channel and I had no idea it was going to be, forming an amazing community that I get to be a part of and you get to be a part of. So it's quite exciting. So she just said we need to do more work in order to shift to the new timeline. Okay. So go inside yourself, keep going inside yourself. That's what, maybe that's why I was inspired for this channel to be like, you have the answers within yourself. You don't need my SGs to tell you the answers. You don't need your SGs to tell you the answers because you are the answer. You know what the answers are. We just are so used to not following that. We're so used to not trusting ourselves, okay? Because we've been taught by society, we've been taught by our parents the way they trusted themselves. And so we're not used to it, okay? So we're going to keep coming back to our own center. That's all the conversations we're going to continue to have on this channel so that you can feel empowered to move in your direction, which means if you're empowered to get moving at the local government level now because of stuff going on at the collective, then go that way. But not everybody's going to be empowered to do that. Somebody else might even be empowered to start a YouTube channel, or somebody else might be empowered to go volunteer somewhere. Those are the things you want to pay attention to. Everybody's going to be empowered to do different things. And that's why you have to tap into your own intuition. That's where the crystals come in and the clearings come in and the self-care comes in so that you can move in the direction that is your soul contract, that is important for you because that's what God's counting on for you to do for the collective. All right. And I think we're going to move away from the trends of the celebrities and all that because they're telling you what's good for them, but that's not what's good for you, right? And so that was fun for a while, but that's not to poo-poo them. I think that's just where the energy has been, And so you're going to listen to the music that inspires you, not what inspires the collective. It's just an example, okay? So, we just need to internally keep with that transformation. Just internally keep with that transformation, okay? And if you're in a state right now, just continue to center. Just continue to center. And I will continue to do there's clearings in the public channel. There's clearings in the spirit circle. You can always do those clearings to continue to come back to center, continue to come back to center. You don't need to, it's amazing to tap into maybe doing it, maybe going to a Reiki master is actually, because it's direct with you. Maybe that is better for you than it would be doing it online. But right now, if there's an affordability issue, you can do that online on my channel with the clearings, okay? But eventually, if you can start to support those who are doing the work with doing Reiki, if you can support that and go one-to-one physically, then that's an amazing thing to do if you're inspired to do that, okay? Because you're honoring the gifts there, okay? And that's what's so interesting about people who are like, she's just collecting money or whatever, because they're immediately saying that that nobody deserves money. Nobody deserves it, right? Which is energy that they're sending on themselves, basically. So that person who left that comment, I'd be very surprised if they had a lot of money flowing into their lives. Okay. So you just want to be, you got to check every opinion you have because it's all energy that's sending out there. If you criticize rich people for being rich, then, you're saying I don't, nobody deserves to be rich. So guess what energy you're sending towards yourself, right? I do have a money block clearing thing you might want to check out if you deal with that. So so for me and for Tomorrow Rose, the come in and save me, I want an easy life. That is and that's what the patriarchy has instilled in us, right? It's because it's just been years and years and years, thousands of years of that. And we have to clear that away. I think once we clear that away, you guys, here comes Madam President. Here she comes. Here she comes. Okay. So let's work on it. Let's work on it. I don't know how long it'll take. I don't know how long it'll take, but we're going in the right direction. I feel very optimistic about this. And she just, Tomorrow Rose basically said at the end, we all need to double down. We need to double down right now on what our truth is. Okay. Double down. Don't doubt. No doubts. None. Cut. I am respectfully disconnecting all cords. This is what you can do. Respectfully disconnecting all cords of doubt. Do it right now. I am respectfully disconnecting all cords, energetic cords of doubt in my entire surrounding. I'm just boop, boop, disconnecting them all. Respectfully disconnecting. So anyone who set any doubts around me, I'm respectfully disconnecting those cords. Okay. You can do that with anything. I'm respectfully disconnecting any low energy that's keeping me depressed. I'm respectfully disconnecting any low energy. Okay. Whatever you do, just keep working on it. Keep working on it. Build up that energy field around you. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Okay. And we will keep moving in this direction. It's a little tricky because I'm going the opposite way. Okay. So I don't know. I feel super energized by this. I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. Let me see if there's anything else. But I do love the fact that she said we need to double down on honoring our truth, your truth. Follow your truth. Your truth is not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. Okay. If it feels icky, if something feels icky, that's not the truth. Okay. So follow the truth and it will support the collective's vision for where we want to go. Okay. She said, you are being called to do that. So let's do it. We didn't find ourselves in this community by mistake. We just didn't. And it's just the way it is. And so we're supporting each other doing it. It's exciting. It's once in a lifetime. It really is. This is such an exciting time, you guys. So stay with the excitement of it. Okay. And because think of if you got inspired just from hearing me talk, and I'm telling you, this was all downloaded. There's no way. I mean, I never even understood this stuff until I just listened to her and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And if you feel inspired now, take that inspiration now and move it forward. And let's just keep moving it forward, moving it forward, moving it forward. Okay. And we will collectively get to where we want to get. Okay. And don't let all the shenanigans, that's all shenanigans. Just go. That's where Archangel Raphael, the channel Archangel Raphael, which they do not get enough views. I don't understand what's going on there, but they're like, you know what? Oh, look at, and she said that. Archangel Raphael said that. Like, oh, look at them. Look at that. This whole salute thing. Look at the shenanigans. Look at them trying. Look at them just keeping us distracted. Yeah. Look at them wanting to keep us in anger, right? Wanting to keep us in anger. If you have a hard time centering and you needed somebody in your eye, keep a picture of somebody who inspires you. That bishop who recently spoke, right? Look at her face. Look at her face, speaking truth to power. Does she not look peaceful? Keep her in your mind's eye. That was not an accident. Keep her in your mind's eye. Keep her in your mind's eye. Okay, the divine feminine. It's really important, even if you're a man, very important to keep because we need to balance the divine feminine right now. It's not about taking rights away from men. It's not about that at all. Okay. It's an energetic thing. So whatever inspires you, these two inspire me. Find somebody who inspires you. She inspires me. OAC inspires me. She talks truth to power and very practically, and I like that. She's amazing. Jasmine Crockett, same thing. Keep the vision. Let's do this together. We've got this. Okay? Let's go. I love it. All right, have a good day.